Hi guys, Penny Rose Journals, how you doing? Okay, here I am as promised. I am going to sew these signatures. All 8 of them. I'm not sure I'll show you all 8 of them. It's going to be fiddly because there's 8 of them. Yeah, it's just awkward. It's more awkward than usual. Usually I have sort of 3 or 4. So, yeah. But here is our cover so far. I have done some work on her, put her together and put some fabric on her and a ribbon around the middle. And yeah, I'm going to measure up for a faux spine so that we have a hidden spine on the inside. And yeah, I guess show you the whole process. So here we go. I'm making my spine here out of matte board. This is offcuts of matte board, like that go around a photo in a photo frame. I just had some strips of this. It was about the right size. I glued them together so it's just a little bit thicker. It's sort of double thickness. And yeah, now I'm going to cut it to size, and that is what I'm going to use as my spine. It's quite sturdy, so I'm pretty sure that is the right size right there. Now, what I normally do is cover it with fabric. So I had these old pants. This is an offcut of a pair of trousers or shorts or something. I'm going to cover it with that. That will be our base for our spine. This glue is so hard to get out these days. Bane of my existence. I'm just going to put some glue on this piece of card. Now I try not to make it too thick so it doesn't show through the fabric. Not a train wreck if it does. There's going to be signatures sewn to it, so you're not going to be able to see it that clearly. But I do try not to let it seep through my fabric, just with varying degrees of success depending on the fabric I'm using. So I will glue it down that way, and then I will fold it over at the ends there and glue them. And I like to put a little bit of glue on the fabric towards the edges so that they are glued down as well, as you can see here. When I fold it over, I like to put a little bit of a slope on my fabric out towards the edges so that it will fit into the book nicely and won't overhang the cover. So we'll glue those down on both ends, and then we're ready to think about our next step. I have here an old tourist map of Sydney. Because it's so brightly coloured and shiny, I was not likely to put it in a journal, and it's a nice big piece of paper, so I tend to use this to cut out spines, because as you know, I do quite a lot of very large books. It's kind of hard to find something to use as a template that's big enough. An A4 page is often not tall enough, so I'm hunting around looking for papers that I can cut a template out of, and this has been perfect. So it sort of sits here on my desk waiting for me to hack bits out of it every time I need to make a spine template, because that is my next step. I will make a paper template of the spine, so basically a piece of paper the same size as my spine here, and work out where all the holes are going to go, and I will use that also when I am punching the holes in my signatures. So simple case of measuring it up and cutting it out, and then we will start making little marks on it and drawing lines and working out where our holes go. Okay, I did 8 vertical lines for the 8 signatures, 3 horizontal lines for the 3 whole pamphlet stitch, and now it's just a case of poking all those holes into my spine and then into my signatures. So yeah, poke, 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 poke. Because I have so many of these signatures, and I want the least amount of trouble possible getting them in here, I am going to clamp them today. So I'm going to clip each one in the position it needs to be in, then put my holes in it. I'll leave the clip on it while I sew it in, remove the clip when I'm done. Hopefully that keeps everything in alignment so I don't have too much trouble getting my needle through all my little pages. I'm sure there will be the odd one that causes me grief, but yeah, it's going to be, like I say, quite an awkward process to get 8 signatures on this little spine anyway. So I'm just trying to make it as easy on myself as I can. Also, by clamping them all in the same spot, it sort of saves me any confusion if I pick them up and move them around as to which way they go up. They're all going to be sewn in with this pin on the same side, or this clamp on the same side. So yeah, I know which way they go up because there is some directional pages in them. There's music pages in them, there's envelopes in them, and yeah, there's also a book page. You can see part of the text, so yeah, I would like them up the right way, obviously, if possible. I don't want to have to unpick them and sew them in again, so this just saves any of those sort of mistakes along the way. As per usual, I'm using crochet thread to sew these in, and each string for each signature is going to be 3 times the height of the spine. So I will cut all my strings and get ready to go. I use a tapestry needle to sew with. It has a nice big eye and it's very blunt, so it makes it easy to get through without sticking to pages and fabric and string, and also helps me to not split the string when I'm going in and out of the same holes with the string in it already. Yeah, a blunt needle I think is the biggest piece of advice I would give anybody who is starting out making journals. Make sure you've got a blunt needle to sew in your signatures, because a pointy needle just makes things really difficult, which seems a bit counterintuitive, but it's true. I hate sewing in with a pointed needle. It just makes your life such a nightmare. You're forever splitting your string, and yeah, it just sticks in pages and just makes it so much more difficult. So invest in a small packet of maybe 3 tapestry needles and you're good for a very long time. And there we have it. That was a nice easy one. First signature is in. Simple pamphlet stitch. I like to go from the back to the front. A lot of people do it the other way around. It's entirely up to you. I like my strings to hang out the back of my spine, and I leave them usually a little long so they dangle out the bottom of my spine. I think that's kind of cute. But yeah, I sew in the middle hole because it's a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, out through the bottom generally, back in through the top, and out through the middle again, and then knot them behind the back string. So that's how I do them. I tend to pull them as tight as I can, put one knot in them, flip it over, and just make sure that my signature is secure and my strings are tight, and then turn it back over and do another couple of knots in it. So I usually knot them off 3 times. In the end of the day, I also cover my spine on the back with a piece of cheesecloth, so all of this gets glued down as well. So it is well secure. Once it's in, it's in. That's it. It's not coming out. It's not unknotting. It's not unraveling. It's not getting loose. So everything will be nice and tight when I finish sewing, and then I will glue it and make sure it stays that way forever and ever. As you can see, sometimes it proves a little bit difficult to just find that hole that you want to stick your needle through from the front. It pays to keep it all handy. You can poke it in from the back and show you exactly where that hole is. Yeah, just as a bit of a guide. It makes it a lot easier. Now, one thing I can't stand in a journal that I make is loose signatures. My signatures have got to be sewn in nice and tight. I don't want them wibbly wobbling around when you're trying to flip pages. So you'll see that I tug quite firmly on my string as I'm pulling it through at the end to knot it. Does it break sometimes? Yes, it does. Is that a huge nuisance? Absolutely, without a doubt. But I would rather have my piece of string break than have a floppy signature. So you tend to learn the tension of your string. Usually you have a ball of string, it lasts you a fair while. You make quite a few journals with it. After you've broken a few pieces, you know how hard you can pull on it without rupturing it. So, it's just a case of if it breaks, you have to do it again. I'm sorry, but yeah, it's to me that's so much better than having a floppy signature. So I take the risk, I pull the string. I rarely break them now. When I get a new ball of string, sometimes, yes, I do break the first few times I make a journal. I will break a piece of string here and there, which is always very frustrating because, if it breaks, because it usually always breaks off right in the hole, so you can't sort of tug it through and make your piece of string a little bit shorter and keep it sewn up. You usually have to pull it out and just start from scratch. So yes, it's a little bit frustrating, but as opposed to the alternative, I'm happy to take the risk. As you've seen multiple times during this video, sometimes when you're sewing into a signature, you're pushing your needle into the back of the signature, it'll pop out a hole that you don't really want it in. It'll miss a bunch of pages. So, you just kind of have to flip through, find your needle, and then continue on poking it through the holes until you get it to the middle of your signature. I don't know why it decides to go off skew if sometimes, but it does, and more often than not, to be honest. So, just something you do. You go find your needle and start poking it through. Hopefully it's on the side that you haven't pinned, but sometimes it is on the side you've clipped together, so you have to sort of loosen off your signature and let it fly free, and then there's problems all over the place. But it's easy enough done. I mean, you like your needle to go from the back of your signature straight through to the middle of your signature, but honestly, let's be brutally honest, that very rarely happens. It happens sort of probably once every second time, I'd say. I reckon I just manage to get it through every now and again, but it seems more often than not I'm flicking through pages looking for a needle and putting it through the rest, but it's just part of the process. I don't like this part of the process. I think I've mentioned this before. This is not my favourite part of building a journal, but it's a necessary part, so I do tend to put it off as long as I can, and then I get it all done, and then I'm like, oh, phew, that's done, and everything's good now. So, yeah. Sometimes even the things we enjoy have little bits of them that we don't, but yeah, you persevere and you get the job done. So, and amazingly, we have sewn in 8 signatures on camera, and we haven't died of boredom yet. So, hooray! And here is our little signature block. It is all together, and yeah, it's super cute. Don't think I'll put it in the journal yet, but we'll do some more work on it indeed. So I hope you've enjoyed watching me sew in 8 signatures. Yeah. Now we're going to glue the back. So I will find a piece of cheesecloth and we will get that done. And then our signature block will be completely finished and ready to stick into our journal whenever we're ready to. This is something I don't normally do on the desk like this. As you can see, I've spread my signatures apart so it can lay face down so you can see what I'm doing. Normally I would do this pushed away from my desk with my book held between my knees. My signatures will be all between my knees and just the spine poking out, and that's where I'll do it. Obviously filming like that is not an option, so to do it on my desk so that you can see this is how I do it. But yeah, it is not how I do it at all. Not my general process, but this is what happens. Yeah, I glue all over the spine, put my cheesecloth down, and everything is secured and glued nicely. But yeah, I don't tend to lay my books like this. I don't like to lay my books like this very often, but it is what it is for the camera. And because this is such a light book, it's not going to do any damage anyway. So yeah. We have our cheesecloth and our spine. I will just fold the top and bottoms in so that they're nice and neat and tidy, and we're all done. Alright guys, thanks for your patience, thanks for hanging around and watching, and I hope you enjoyed seeing how I sew together a signature block. Yeah, we'll work on her a bit further another day. Thanks for your time today guys, I appreciate your company as always. I hope you have a lovely day. I'll see you again next time. Bye.